You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Woo.
So, I mean, we couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, right? So everybody was saying, oh, that must be staged. We have since learned it was not. And I mean, the debate is still raging now about who was right, who was wrong, lines were crossed, police involved, Academy said this. With Sunday's slapping incident at the Oscars, it has sparked so much debate, extensive discussion on comedy and the rules that govern it. So what is off limits? How far is too far? We're posing those questions this morning to Ian I.T. Ellis and Christopher Johnny Daly, who join us for a discussion about crossing lines in comedy. Hello, my friends. It's so good to see you this morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
So I watched that a while ago for like the 1500th time and my jaw was still on the ground. I'm curious about the reaction that you both had when you saw it. Let me start with the man in the pink shirt. That's you, by the way, just in case you don't know color.
I have to ensure I wear the softer color. It's done, it's wearing black, you know what I mean? So maybe
Balance.
he's going to be the boxer and I'm the boxee. But I didn't watch it live. Of course, the very first thing I heard the next morning was this news. I mean, Oscars wasn't very popularly promoted. It wasn't, strong on the attention list of most persons. But when I saw it, though, I was shocked. My first reaction was, hey, this is Hollywood. Could this have been staged? When Will Smith walked off, he had a smirk on his face. And Chris Rock there was no reaction. If you're going to be slapped, the natural voluntary thing is to put up your hand. I didn't see that. But more and more when I read the stories and everything unfolded, I realized that this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is serious for me because I have a history. I do mimicry, impersonation. I have a history of troubling people and perhaps offending a few along the way, both live in stand-up and, of course, on TV through sketch. We have done it all. So I became a little nervous because if this becomes what it is, that we're going to be slapped, they don't know what Christian is going to do it because he's not very tall.
Chris? The other Chris? Would you like to respond?
I don't know what my height have to do with reacting to a slap.
Slap him, Chris.
What I can tell you, IT, is that the wrong Chris got slapped. Because
yes.
if a man that was worth that much slapped me, I guarantee you that I would be pressing charges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would not let that money opportunity pass me.
Oh my God.
Christopher, in a serious way, and to you both, but I'll ask you first, Christopher, when you are planning your show, do you think about that? I already said that him offend people. Him offend me because I see him scare baby in a place and say, I don't pay no baby money and all kind of thing. And I'm sorry, he was in front of me now that I know what to do.
And slap him.
But Christopher, in a serious way, when you plan your shows, you write your stuff, do you think about that and say, you know what, I'm not going to ease up Neville and I'm going to go too hard, or you just do what you feel you're supposed to do?
It depends on the gig. Sometimes you are given, for instance, a corporate gig that you're hired to do, and some corporate gigs come with specific rules of engagement. They ask you specifically not to speak about some things or not to address a particular person, maybe the CEO.
Yes.
Sometimes you're told that you can speak directly about the CEO or a senior manager because they're cool like that. And so sometimes you are given some latitude. The real thing is, as a comedian, I don't necessarily prepare to go on stage to offend people. That's not the job. The job is to go and give jokes. Now, sometimes your jokes do rub some people wrong.
Wrong
Sometimes
way.
it does make some people feel embarrassed. Do you have
Yes.
control over what they do? No. So you're kind of prepared as a comedian for what is called heckling. Heckling is a part of what we do. Some audiences will heckle you.
So that is a
And
boo
so
and a maybe throw something or
not throw, no, not throw
Just a
something,
boo.
Simone.
Right.
Maybe audibly. So they may say something back based on what you
Ah.
said. They may respond to a joke. And you as a comedian need to be prepared for that because you're talking to a live audience. Now, if it happens and you don't have a response, then it kind of looks negative on you as a comic. But yeah, what I want to say though is I'm hoping that this does not set a bad precedent
Right.
for us going forward. A few comics I've seen already have been attacked on stage. It rarely happens, but when a man like Will Smith does it,
Yes.
it does kind of give a kind of carte blanche feeling to some people that, hey, maybe this is the way we should treat comedians if I'm offended.
So what's the key takeaway for you in this, IT? You watch this now. Chris said you guys get rules of engagement. Sometimes you do a different kind of gig and it's kind of open season. Has anything, I mean, anybody ever have them throat in their mouth after a joke and you see something look like it's about to get ugly? And what would be the key takeaway from this? First of all, the personal experience. IT, anything that would have made you like scared at a performance where you see like somebody take something the wrong way and it could have gone terribly wrong for you?
I was in a show in New Kingston. It was jam-packed. The entire road was jam-packed with thousands of persons, a huge show. The Prime Minister was there and several persons in the high echelon of society was the authority government. And I made a joke about the current Prime Minister at the time. And a famous broadcaster and other persons came to me and they were royally offended. In fact, I was told after that by one of the person that I would be in a room where your name would come up for a gig, and I would tell them, no, just because of that single joke about the Prime Minister at the time. So I know by personal experience that you can say something that, and it was funny, the crowd moved. Johnny mentioned the fact that our intention is to make people laugh. But my key takeaway from this is not that, we're going to be censored, because it's a dichotomy now. You don't want comedians to be too censored because they lose that freedom that comes with the art of comedy, right? At the same time, we have to still remember that there's a line. There's obviously a line. And that line for me is disability. I do not do jokes about persons' disability in a way that I know that people will cringe and will be offended. So my takeaway is to focus on what will make them laugh over and above what will offend them. In this space now, in this global space, there are so many things that can offend persons now.
Yeah.
I heard this morning that the US government has allowed US citizens, when they're filling out application forms, to write X beside gender. That's new. So I'm living in that time now. So I have to be
Sensitive
conscious,
to,
cognizant of that, sensitive to that too, because especially if you want to be commercially successful, let me emphasize that, you have to be, because a Cat Williams is perhaps funnier than a Chris Rock, and perhaps Chris will agree with me. But is he commercially successful?
No.
Because perhaps of his style?
Yeah.
So we have to decide where we want to be and who want to offend and who want to amuse.
Yeah. Johnny, final question from me, and it's kind of the question that I asked before about you preparing. IT just made a point about running a joke on the Prime Minister, because people love that. I mean, when you take on the big time people, people love that. So if you run a joke, I mean, you know you're going to get a laugh because Bertie Smelly and tease and people love them things. So do you go there also?
Yes, absolutely. If you know, for instance, that this is what is going to rile up a room or get somebody, and this is an angle for you, sure, why not go there? A part of what you have to be as a comedian is provocative. You need to poke fun and make ripples. If you don't make ripples into the room, if you don't say something that really makes people perk up, then you're not really doing your job. You can't just come on stage and not represent yourself.
How do you ensure the
the
ripple doesn't become a tsunami?
You're hoping that the ripple does not become a tsunami, and you're hoping that whoever it is don't send people to drag you off stage.
Right.
You ask a question. One of the routines I actually have about a joke is that, when I was at Trio, we went to a particular place to perform, and it was a difficult performance. Well, there was some truth in that actual joke, because I literally felt fear having gone to that stage when we were at the wrong time. You know, it really was supposed to be a dance at that time and a big party, and we were late. And I felt real fear because I was up there looking at Jamaicans who were not laughing at the time. And at the time, Shandy Buckle was a thing. So,
that's why I asked about throwing things, because I know Shandy Buckle was a thing.
I took away myself neatly. That's all I'm going to say.
By the way,
There's a benefit.
I said final question because we have to go, but I do have one more to you both. IT, how would you have responded were you Will Smith?
Well, no, was I Will Smith, not Chris Rock?
No, were you Will Smith and Johnny run a joke about your wife that you never to appreciate? What would you have done?
Good.
No, I would definitely not walk on stage and slap him, but Johnny will get a phone call, you know, after that to say, hey, you know, bro, I mean, that's my wife. And listen, persons who know me know how I view my family,
Karen,
my wife, and my daughters. I don't run no
play
joke
that.
at all.
Johnny, how would you have performed?
So, but, you know?
If I was Chris Rock,
No,
I can tell you what I would have done.
if you were Will Smith.
No, he was totally irrational. And when you look at his reaction, I felt that he got something triggered him. He laughed initially at the joke. Every time I watch it back, I see the same reaction. He laughed initially at the joke. When he saw Jada's reaction, and I'm not sure who else in the room he saw in terms of reaction, he was triggered. I really felt he stepped over the line, and he knows that he stepped over the line. As an actor who is interested in comedy, he knows the rules. The rules of engagement is that's my safe space.
Yeah.
You're the audience. I'm the comic. Don't disturb the space.
You were about to say if you were Chris Rock. What would you have done?
If I was Chris Rock, I'd have dropped down on the stage and hold my face and said, Jesus! I make sure some lie them. Yeah.
But I have to say this before I go though. I really think that as a married man, I think Jada Pinkett was very, very pleased that even when Will got home. She was very pleased.
Okay, sir.
I think there's another clip of her laughing after the slap. I don't know if you've seen that clip.
No.
Another clip of her laughing after the slap. But one thing I want to say, Neville, Chris Rock is one of the greats because of how he reacted.
Yeah.
The man commentated through the entire slap. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's very, very interesting.
Bridget, we have to go. And I owe you something for what you did, because people are still saying me is not a good father just because of you. Watch me, man. Actors, comedians, friends, Ian Ellis and Christopher Daly. Coming up, we give you something to smile about. I thought that was it. Well, I guess not. Soon come.